Murder style, y'all.
Insanity, insanity, whatever happened to humanity?
Ooh, 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 man. Man, oh man. It's been a while since I've played something that got me this, not traumatized, but just in the brand of new creativity of horror. Signalis is a survival horror game that has been developed by Rose Engine and been published by Humble Games and Playism. A Plan Rose 512 Scout shuttle is crashed on an unknown planet. You play as Esther, a replica unit who awakens inside the ship, finding out that it is infested with deadly creatures. Struggling to survive, she searches for a missing partner named Arlene to ensure her safety and to find answers. Let me step away real quick because I gotta admire the start screen of this. I love the start screen of this. One of the best start screens I've ever fucking seen. I noticed that start menus are the pull-in of the gamer to let you know the creativity of what's to come when you play this. Now, I'm gonna have to say, by this being made by an indie company, either you're going to miss a lot or you're going to hit hard. And Signalis has hit me hard with this 4 hours of a hellish experience. This, I was gonna say anime, but can you blame me? But this game, if you are, well, this is an overhead game, so that's one thing I did not like about it, but it made up for it when it comes to the creativity of the execution of the game itself with the horror elements. So if you are familiar with games such as the Resident Evil franchise, the Dead Space franchise, and even Silent Hill, you should play this shit. No questions and no excuses. The game's focus is the fast pacing itself. Now, when the game starts, you wake up as Esther when she comes out of this containment system and you're trying to find answers, so you're just as confused as she is. And I like that with games like this because I do not like to play a horror game with a character that has all the answers, so you feel as if you're missing out on something and the character you're playing with is hiding secrets that you need to find out with. But no, Esther does not know what you don't know either. So you are basically in the shoes of this character while she's trying to find out what's going on and what happened to the crew and why we end up crashing and where is your partner. And as you are doing this is where the main focus of the game is strong when it comes to how dark this game is, the atmosphere of the game, and at the same time when the creatures begins to show up and give you hell. Now, I'm gonna have to say this. The creatures are not scary. They're not. I feel like the creatures are lacking the context of the fluidity of it being horrific. And it's probably because of the pixelated graphics of this, so they probably could not add any creative tones to to the creatures. But don't get me wrong here. That does not mean that these creatures are not scary in all colors. These creatures are scary when it comes to the spawn points. You do not know where these creatures are coming from. And the sound of these damn creatures, how they screech in the fucking screen. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, no, no. And then how they switch, how they be coming at you. I'm like, no. And some of these enemies actually got knives and weapons themselves too. I felt claustrophobic in certain areas. I felt uncomfortable, and then at the same time, they even had a mind gesture of you stepping on the enemies to ensure that they're dead, but sometimes they get right back up. So I noticed that when you step on the enemies, yeah, they die, but they stay dead longer than when you do shoot them and you don't step on them. So that's the major strength of this, and I dare you to play this game wearing some great headphones. You are gonna be in for a hellish ride. I felt very vulnerable playing this game. Now listen. you do get weapons. You get a shotgun, you get a pistol, you get other weapons as well later in the game progression. But the reason why I felt vulnerable is because of the limitation of the weapons. How much damage does these enemies endure when you shoot them? Now you do have a feature where you can aim the weapons towards them, and if you aim it for a certain amount of time, the longer you aim at them, the crosshair stiffens, which is what makes the shot count even harder. But the ammo is it's not scarce, but they give you limited amount of ammo, and then they give you a limited amount of an inventory slot. The inventory slot is only 6 spaces. And some people may like that because it is a more of a surviving challenge, but I don't think it's a survival challenge. I just think that it's petty as fuck. I feel like if you're gonna give me so much of these keys and so much of these devices and so much of these health packs and stuff, you need to give me a bigger inventory slot, and it increases the back and forth scenario of me just doing loops around and just going to the same area over and over and over and over and over and over. The puzzles are well done too. I like the puzzles on the game, but it's like a double-edged sword because even though these puzzles can be a little bit confusing, I've gotten around them because there are certain notes that you pick up on the game where you have to read so you can go across these puzzles. But some of these puzzles are very fucking tough at times, to the point where you may have to go to YouTubepedia, which is YouTube itself, to find out these damn puzzles. And sometimes it may not work because these puzzles dictates on the rarity of the random gestures of you progressing through the game. Sometimes you may have to unlock a door or a save using a certain number, and the number may not be the same when you go on YouTube. The process is the same, but the execution may be different. And yeah, I really can't say that's a flaw, but I feel like for people that hate puzzles in games like this, you may probably want to overlook this game because it's gonna say fuck you for the people who hates puzzles. I like puzzles, but at the same time, in a certain extent, I hate puzzles that don't give me no type of hints. Because how are you gonna solve them if you don't know what to do with it? And if you go on YouTube, how are you gonna solve it if the video is different than what you're trying to do? So yeah, Signalis, you're gonna struggle with that shit. Let's talk about the animation of this game. I love the animation of this game. This is actually the reason why I love this game so much, other than the horror factor. This game gave me so much retrospective anime games such as Ghost in the Shell, Kite the Liberator, and Akira. If you are well known of the cyberpunk old style animes from back then, you should check this out because it puts all these animes together and it puts a horror element inside of it, and bam, there you go, you got Signalis. So at the end of the day, this game is great, this game is good, but at the same time, this game is subjective when it comes to you being into the horror aspect. What does scare you? What does make you feel uncomfortable? Is it ghosts? Is it demons? Is it clowns? Is it women that wearing those lunch lady wigs on and they give you those $2 pizza boxes? It depends on how you feel about this. But I'm gonna say, in my perspective, in my experience, Signalis, it passes on everything that it delivered to me. And honestly, I want them to continue this franchise itself, especially with the ending. I love the way how the game ended, and I cannot wait to see what more of these indie companies have in store for this game. I'm gonna have to give Signalis an A-. I'm glad I came across this game. I am glad that this game is now in my memory bank of the stuff that I have experienced, because let's just face it here, we got so many good games that's coming out, and so it's easy for these games to be overlooked because it's still into the eye gesture of us looking into the blockbuster hit of games that we seeing in trailers and shit. Signalis, I didn't find this out in the fucking trailer. I was lucky to find out about this game. But other than that, that's all I have to say for today. Please stay tuned for my upcoming game reviews and videos. Hit it your way. Ooh, man, my back is itching. This is Yuga, your critic teacher, and you guys have a good day.